Hello everyone, it's your girl Mel here, and I know I've been going for a while, but for those of you who don't follow me and don't know, I am back in school for my doctorate. I just recently got my master's for professional counseling, and I have taken on the endeavor of going for my doctorate. So it has taken up quite a bit of my time, so I haven't actually been able to get to the videos like I'd like to. Most of you are familiar with me from my video. He was my dad, was my first, Rape Culture Hurts, where I discuss incest at the hands of my biological father at the age of 13. And I've gotten a lot of responses over the past couple of years from that video. I have a group called Striving to Survive to Thrive on Facebook with over 500 members now. That has been very helpful, especially by way of support that has come a lot from this video. And I also get a lot of commentary, and I get a lot of questions, and I get a lot of requests of people asking me to make videos on certain topics. So specifically today, I want to talk on the topic of releasing the guilt and shame that is attached to sexual violation. Okay, I have a playlist here on my YouTube channel called Love and Light, and in that playlist, I have what I call my informational and inspirational videos. And in there is the video called The After Effects of Sexual Violation, where I introduce the 37 different residual effects from E. Sue Bloom's Secret Survivors, where she discussed the 37 different residual effects that we do experience once we have experienced sexual violation. And PTSD is included in that. I like to let it be known because a lot of people are not aware that PTSD is an after effect of sexual violation, because sexual violation is trauma. But I also like to let it be known that PTSD, with all of its encapsulated after effects and of its own, is still only one of the 37 different residual effects that we do experience after experiencing sexual violation. But two of those things that we also harbor after the fact is guilt and shame. Guilt and shame is one of the biggest reasons that we do remain silent after being bullied and re-victimized. Most of the time after we come out with our stories, we're being guilted and shamed into being quiet. The number one reason most of the time is because the abuser, the perpetrator, the predator has manipulated the victim into believing that it was his or her fault, that they asked for it, that they did something to cause it. And that, of course, keeps us silent because we feel guilty and we feel shameful. Okay. The second thing is we tend to feel guilty and ashamed because of the things that we did, the things that we were made to do. That's not your fault, especially if you were forced. If you were coerced in any way, manipulated, especially as a child, to do anything, it was not your fault. You did not ask for that, and the person who did it to you was wrong. That's number one. But we do harbor guilt and shame because of those things, because of the things that we did, because of the things that we were made to do. And one of the biggest things, and I'm probably going to make a separate video about this, is that a lot of us remain in a state of guilt and shame because we are angry, frustrated, sad. I mean, so many different emotions, because we feel like our bodies betrayed us. Because whenever we were being violated, we might have been turned on. We might have ejaculated or had an orgasm, or became erect, or became moist, or whatever you want to call it, all of those different terms. All that means is that your body responded, which is called libidinal responses, where the libido, okay, the natural instincts of your libido are responding to what is being done to you. That's why children who experience sexual violation become hypersexual, because at a very young age, when their minds are not able to comprehend what is being done to their bodies, the two can't connect. They begin to experience these things at a very early age, and they can't handle it. It's too much for their minds to wrap themselves around. So they become heightened very quickly, sexually heightened, and they begin to experience things, and they begin to let others, do things to them. So it's normal. Those are normal responses. So if there's anybody who's sitting out there now who's feeling guilty or ashamed because in the middle of your violation or whatever was being done to you, your body responded to you, it is not your fault. You didn't ask for it. It does not mean, just because your body responded does not mean that you asked for it or that you wanted it. It does not mean that at all. It just means that your natural libidinal response to what was going on to you, going on with you, your body was naturally responding. That's it. That's all. It wasn't your fault and you did not ask for it. Okay? Don't ever let anybody make you think anything different. But we do harbor guilt and shame for that. Also, we have family members or friends or anybody who's protecting the predator, okay, who will make us feel guilty and make us feel ashamed because they don't want us to tell on their boy or their girl or their uncle, aunt, whatever. They want us to stay quiet, so they will say things to make us feel guilty and ashamed. But what we have to do, and one of the reasons why I come out with my story, is you have to release it. You have to release the guilt and shame, and you have to put it back on the predator, the abuser, the perpetrator of the assault, back where it belongs. Okay? Because the fact of the matter is, if the world knew what your abuser was doing to you, they would shame them if they really knew. The thing is, they don't want to believe that the person that they like or love so much would do something so nasty or so heinous or so disgusting. But if they knew and they could see and they knew for sure that this person that they hold in reverence was doing the things that you say they were doing, they would be really, really, really ashamed. And what we have to do is be strong enough and not care what people say, to say, you know what? You did this to me. I didn't do this to me. I didn't rape myself. I didn't molest myself. I didn't touch myself. You did this to me. Okay? You know, it's like you're pointing the finger back and you're saying, you're the reason why I'm a cutter. You're the reason why I can't sleep and I have flashbacks. You're the reason why I struggle socially. You're the reason why I can't have healthy relationships and the reason why I can't have a healthy sexual intimate relationship. You're the reason why I'm a drug addict, or why I am an alcoholic, or why I have an eating disorder. Because the fact of the matter is, the person that violated you is the reason why you're doing a lot of things that you're doing, okay? And what you got to do is you got to take all that stuff and say, you did this to me, okay? You held me down, you tied me up, you covered my mouth. When I was 7 years old, you stuck your penis in me and you tried to stick it in my mouth. You understand what I'm saying? You have to point the finger back to these people and you got to say, this is what was done to me, and not be ashamed to do it. And once you release all of that stuff off of you and you point it back, it's like, first off, it's like such a breath of fresh air. That's number one. And then it's such a weight that is lifted off of you. Okay? Once you do that and you start to believe and conceive that it's not your fault, okay? What you will do once you point the finger is that each time you are taking back your power, thereby taking back your life. Okay? For all that you've gone through, you don't owe them that. Okay? The longer that you hold on to that guilt and shame, which is a choice, by the way. Okay? It is a choice. You can decide that I'm not carrying this anymore. You can make that decision. Okay? And as long as you're walking around with that guilt and that shame, you're giving them that power. The power that you're mad that they took away. Take back your power. Okay? Take back the power. Just looking at my notes here. Yeah, I just want to, release yourselves. Release yourselves from these prisons. As long as you're holding on to that guilt and shame, you're holding yourself hostage. Point blank, period. Okay, you're constantly giving them that power because, for one, don't nobody know what they're doing. You're keeping it quiet, and when you're keeping it quiet, you're making it easy for them to go and hurt somebody else. How about that? We really have to think about that. So, you got to release that stuff. Release that guilt and shame. Turn it back on the predator, the abuser, the perpetrator of the assault, where it belongs. Point it back on them and let them carry it. Get that monkey off your back. Okay? Drop some of them bags. And that's all I have to say about that particular subject. But what I do want to do is offer further encouragement really quickly to all of you guys out there, whether you have started your recovery process or whether you're thinking about starting your recovery process. What I want to say to you is that no matter where you are, first off, it's never too late to start where you are, ever. Number two, no matter what, One fall, one step back, two step backs is not a failure. Okay? It is not a failure. What matters most importantly is each and every time that you get up. Okay, we are all going to fall, but what is most important in a survivor, if you are a survivor, what is most important is each time that you pick yourself up and you get back up, and each time you're able to take another step. Okay, you're going to fall. Okay, we are all going to fall. Okay, stop beating yourselves up. Stop being so hard on yourselves. We've all been through a lot. Cut yourselves a break. Okay, you deserve it. All right. So that's all I have to say. One more thing I want to say. I want to stress to you, healing is proactive. Okay, healing is proactive, meaning that you got to go out there and you got to go get it. Ain't nobody going to bring your healing to you on a plate with wine and cheese and say, here. They're not going to bring a magic wand and say, poof, all of a sudden you've been healed. Healing is proactive, and you have to go out there and get it, and you have to make the decision that you want it. You got to make the decision that you're going to put in the work to do it, and then you got to actively go and do the work. And it is going to take time because it is a process. And if you've been in your mess for more than a year, 2 years, 3 years, understand it's going to take you some time to get through it. So be easy with yourselves. All right. You deserve it. That's all I have for right now. I got a couple of other topics that I'm going to try to knock out for you guys. Don't know if I'm going to knock them out this morning, but thank you for sharing your time with me. Pass the videos on just to show, at least show awareness to someone else, because I alone cannot change the world and I cannot make a big difference, but together we can save a lot of lives. And there are a lot of lives out there who need to be saved. So thank you guys. I will see you soon. Love you. Later.